All right, and welcome to the video tutorial on a couple apps for the iPad and even the Android tablet, which I'll share after I'll talk about the iPad here. But apps you can use that integrate with YouTube. So a couple apps that I like are YouTube Capture and Explain Everything. Explain Everything is, I think that's like $4 in the App Store, but it is definitely worth it. I would go and get that right away if you are interested in recording presentations on your iPad. So what Explain Everything does, what it does is you can bring in existing presentations, whether they're connected through Google Drive, and that's easy to do. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. With YouTube, it's the same process for Google Drive. But here are all my Google Drive folders. And I can bring in a PDF document or a PowerPoint. But what Explain Everything really likes is PDF documents. And I would keep your presentations kind of short, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, at the max. But again, so you can bring in presentations. You can also just use this as a tool just to record like a whiteboard sketch video. And we have a couple faculty using Explain Everything for that purpose for some math courses, and it's working out pretty well actually. The nice thing about this is that everything's contained in the iPad. So you don't need, your computer, another piece of software to record the presentation, a webcam or a headset to record the audio, and all this other stuff, and maybe a Wacom tablet to jot down, to record annotations on the screen. So this is nice because it's just one package. It's just one app on your iPad doing everything, recording the video of your presentation along with annotation capabilities. So the first thing I want to do when I open up Explain Everything is I want to go ahead and click on this gear icon, and I'm going to pay attention to first the Accounts tab. So what I have here is I've enabled Google Drive and YouTube to use Explain Everything. So now Explain Everything can export videos to my U of M YouTube account, and it can open up documents from Google Drive that I've put in Google Drive, and then I can bring into Explain Everything. So if you have existing presentations, or if you build presentations in another app, you can always save it to Google Drive, and then come to your iPad, bring it in to Explain Everything, and record your presentation that way. I am going to turn off the YouTube one, and I'll turn it back on just to show you what's involved in setting it up. So this is one tricky part with Explain Everything, but I'll turn this on. And what you need to do is go through the Google authentication first, and then the U of M authentication after that. So I'll hit, I'll just sign in here with my U of M username and password. And then I went through the Google side, and now it's at the U of M sign in. So now I need to sign in like I typically do. I don't need to put in my full email address in here, just my username. So now I am signed in, and I have in my YouTube account, I have many other YouTube channels associated with my account because I'm moderator of a lot of CCE YouTube channels. So I want to export everything to my personal U of M YouTube account, so I'll just choose that one. And then Explain Everything asks, can Explain Everything know who you are in Google, view your email address, manage your YouTube account? Yeah, that's fine. Whatever, I don't care. And there we go. So now YouTube is connected. Now I can export videos I record on here to my YouTube account. So one thing you can do, like I said before, you can bring in presentations from Google Drive, and that works pretty well. You can also just start from scratch with one of these tools here, just recording a whiteboard annotation video. There is one other thing I don't want to forget to tell you, but if you go to your gear icon options up here, so we went to accounts and we set Google Drive and we set YouTube. Now under the export tab, there's some things here that you should be aware of. So if I'm just recording a whiteboard digital annotation recording, I should choose 1920 by 1080. And I'll just hit that. I'll tell you what that means here. And then I want to say show 1920 by 1080 guides. Now that's not going to be on the actual video. Those are just guides to show you what's going to be included in the video, where the cutoff is, where the frame is for the video. And so this is important. You wouldn't necessarily want this setting if you were bringing in a presentation. If you were bringing in a presentation and recording on top of that, then you'd want to just record the full screen. So then I would choose 1440 by 1080. Okay, so hopefully that's not too confusing. If you're just recording a digital whiteboard presentation, 1920 by 1080 is ideal. 1440 by 1080 is the other option here, and that will record everything full screen. So you're probably wondering why I don't go full screen, and that's because sometimes when you're rendering out the video to YouTube, it may not work, and so then there's another option to export your video to your camera roll, and then you can use the other app, YouTube Capture, to upload that to your YouTube account. So I usually play it safe, either 1440 by 1080 or 1920 by 1080. So if you don't want to worry about it, 1440 by 1080 is the one to choose. But then with that aspect ratio, it's getting a 4:3 video. So you'll have some black on the left and right of the video. Whereas with 1920 by 1080, that's full. On YouTube, that'll be full screen on YouTube. You won't see any black edges. So that might be too detailed for you, but just know that's what that means. I'm going to choose 1920 by 1080 because I'm going to record a whiteboard digital annotation here. Under quality, I want to keep it under high, compress movie as MP4, and then I want these settings turned on. Optimize for network, sure. Audio export, yes. Optimize identical frames, sure. Okay, now we're good to go. So now when I start a new presentation, I can just hit on the plus icon up here, and I'll choose maybe this template. And now since I had the 1920 by 1080 guides, you can see this is where I should be recording, this area here. And to start recording, I'm just going to hit the record button down here. So now I'm recording audio and video of everything on the screen here. And let's say I don't want a red pen, I can choose maybe blue, and then I can start writing, hello and welcome to explain everything. And maybe this pen width is too thin. I can always change that. I can change the color of the pen. You can do so many things. I can, if I want to highlight something or if I want to point to something, I can use this tool to kind of not draw on the screen, but just kind of circle it like a laser pointer. And I think you have multiple laser pointers. Yeah, you have many things here. So I can use an arrow, and that's actually pretty cool when you see that on video. But you have other things. You can add text, and but I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm just going to worry about the pen, and that's about it. So if I wanted to clear this slide, I can just hit the plus button down here under the slides. Now when you do that, it starts recording on this slide. So whenever you switch slides, you might have to pause your speaking, because that's not going to be recorded. So just pause for a second, then when the new slide opens up, then you can start talking again. So here we go, and I can, right now I'm on slide 2 of 3, and I'm still recording, and I really like explain everything. All right, there we go. So again, faculty who need to show some math problems, formulas and stuff like that, explain everything is great for that. And maybe you can also use this for recording presentations. If you have existing presentations, you can bring them in here and record and submit to YouTube. So let's say I'm done. I'll just hit the record button again to stop the recording. And then I will export. I'll hit on the button to export to YouTube. Now, a lot of times I'll just go straight to movie to camera roll because sometimes YouTube doesn't, the export doesn't work. So maybe let's just skip that. Let's just go straight to movie to camera roll. Let's say that you try to render it out. It didn't work. So let's just go straight movie to camera roll. And it's going to take, it'll take some time. I have an iPad 3, and so the rendering process is pretty fast. If you had iPad 2, it's going to take longer to render these videos. Okay, so now the movie, it says it's saved to my camera roll. Great. So I'll hit OK. And if I wanted to save this project, I could click on the home button, and then it says your changes have not been saved. Do you want to save your project? Yes, sure, why not? And then I'll just say maybe this is a test, and I'll save it. So then I can open it up later, and that is right here. So now I've recorded something, and then I've exported it to my iPad's camera roll. Because the reason I did that is because sometimes it doesn't explain everything. There's a hiccup sometimes when it tries to export to YouTube. So, but it always works if you export it to your camera roll. So now I will get out of Explain Everything, and then I'll go to YouTube Capture. And YouTube Capture is another great app that integrates with YouTube, obviously, and it's free, but it's only for the iPad, unfortunately. I wish it was available on Android, but it's not. So you can record things here. So you could record, here's Jill, there's myself, hello. You can record a video, welcoming message or something like that for your online course, using YouTube Capture. So that could be one other way you can use this tool. I'm going to go ahead, and there's this button down here. I'll tap on that, and that looks for any videos on my iPad. And let me see, the latest one, I think it's this one. I'll just hit this, and I'll play it back. So now I'm recording audio and video of everything. I'll just skim through here. If I want. Yeah, so this is it. I can do some fancy thing, or I can do some things with this app. I can trim the head and tail of the video, but I'll let you play with that. I can't edit within the clip. I can add music. I really don't do much with that. I usually just select the video, and then up here, I'll go to the next step. So the next step is titling it, and I'll just say, explain everything. So I title it Explain Everything Recording, and then let me see, privacy, I'm going to keep it as unlisted. Unlisted means nobody's going to be able to find it, search for it. Only those with the link to it can view it. So this would be a link that I might add in my class, paste it into Moodle. And what other options here? This is fine. So I titled it, it's unlisted, then I can hit upload. Pretty easy. And then up at the top, I don't know if you can see this, but there's this little blue progress bar that goes over the top of your video, and that indicates, you know, that it's uploading, and it's taking, and it even says here 30% uploaded. I use YouTube Capture along with Explain Everything all the time, and it has saved me a lot of headaches. Before just Explain Everything, I'd render out a project and it would say it couldn't export to YouTube. So then I did some research, found YouTube Capture, and that solved everything. So great. Here's all the information on the video, and here's the link to the video. So I can just tap on the link to the video, and it should take me there. It says watch on YouTube. Sure, why not? And here it is. Now it might take a second to process, might not be fully processed yet. Yeah, it's still being processed. Okay, so now it looked like my video processed to YouTube, and I can play it back. So now I'm recording audio and video of everything. And here it is. Then I can start writing, you know, hello and welcome to Explain Everything. All right, so there it is, and you can see this is 1920 by 1080. On YouTube, on your computer, it'll look, you know, full screen, and it's kind of cropped here, but these were where the guidelines were in Explain Everything. So there it is. That's the process. Use Explain Everything and do your recording, and then export it to your camera roll, and then bring it into YouTube Capture to upload it to YouTube. So that process has, for me, has worked wonders. So this is just a quick addition to the video here, but I wanted to share a couple styli I like. One in particular, the Wacom Bamboo. This one's pretty basic, and it's don't know if you can see it that well, but Wacom Bamboo. It's about 30 bucks, and it's got this rubber tip on it, and that's great when you're recording and writing annotations on your iPad or Android device, because it's not going to make any noise. With a plastic tip pen or stylus, that's going to make a lot of noise. So it's important that you should look into a stylus like this, so it's not making a lot of clicking and tapping sounds. And then this one I got at the bookstore here, and the U of M bookstore, and it works pretty well. It's not as good as the Wacom Bamboo, but it does a pretty good job. So this one's about 10 bucks, I think. So I hope this was useful to you, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.